Good morning, everybody. Hey, thank you very much to Bradley and Terry for the warm introduction today. I'd like to welcome all of you to our Engineering 201 class here today. Not everyone is your customer, and why. And so first I'd like to say thank you to you guys, the attendees. You're small business owners. You have limited amount of resources, time, and energy. And it says a lot about you to take the time out of your morning to come down here, listen to what I have to say for a few minutes. So definitely I greatly appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to come out here and do this for us. I'd like to thank Terry at Lundberg Medical Imaging for sponsoring this so we can come out and do this, and Bradley at F&B Bank as well for being the sponsors, as well as WPSD. They are recording this, and so if you're not here or you want to review something later, you can see that very easily here coming up. And again, to Sandra and Kelly at the Paducah Area Chamber, definitely appreciate 100% you guys opening up the room, promoting the Small Business Series events to help make the local economy even better than what it is right now. And so hopefully everybody has put their business card into the basket. My friend Abby with Rose Garden Florist has helped put together a small business survival gift basket. And so we have all the things small business owners need. We have some Paducah coffee, some Red Bull, some earplugs whenever things are going where you don't quite like how it's going, a cold beverage cup for later in the day we need to unwind a little bit, lifesavers, pens, Post-it notes. But most of all, small businesses, we need to celebrate whenever we have wins. And so to help you celebrate where you have the wins, have a $100 gift card to Doe's Eat Place. So that's in the gift card as well, in the gift basket. All right, so my goals for you guys for coming here today is one, whenever you leave here this morning at 9 o'clock, you'll have immediate actions that you can help your business today. And especially, we have a couple of slides on pricing and price sensitivity. As you increase your price, your profit will go up dramatically. And that is something that's worth the price of admission for coming in here today. And we have a few real world examples of the recommendations that I'm proposing here. And just have some fun and learn something. And so what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about small business and small business owners and what it means to the economy. What is entrepreneuring? How to determine your market share. Going to talk about not everyone is your customer. What a minimum viable audience is for your business. How to specialize your business. And how to find the ideal customer for your business once you identify who he or she is. And so, small business. A lot of people don't think that small business is very important. It doesn't drive the economy. That is not correct. In the last 10 years, Fortune 500 companies have actually lost 4 million jobs in the greater economy here in the U.S. However, in the same time frame, small businesses, we have added 8 million jobs. And so basically that's a change of 12 million jobs for small business. And there are over 20, and so how many businesses do we have here? We've got probably, 35 people in here today, I think? So we've got probably, 28, 30 businesses represented. But there are over 28 million small businesses in the U.S., and we're half the domestic gross product for the United States. We provide 55% of all the jobs. And since 1970, 2/3 of all new jobs added to the economy have come from small business. And here's another little known fact. If you have a business that has over $1 million in sales, you're in the top 7% of business in the United States. And so, if you have a smaller business that has less than that, you're in the majority on that. And so I'd like to introduce you to one of my clients that I've had here for a few years. His name is George. He's had a small business for a couple years. And, who says having your own small business is stressful? He's 39 and feeling fine. And so obviously, hopefully when I turn 39, I'll look that good as well. So, but having a business, it's extremely stressful. You're out there, you're trying to, you're wanting to help the general area with your gifts and talents to bring value into the world. And everybody in the room, we have our own special gifts and talents, and you want to be able to do that to make the world a better place. And then once you have some success, you want to be able to give back to your local area to make it better. But the problem is, for a lot of small business owners, we work all the time. Many of us are borderline workaholics. We're missing events with family, friends, soccer games, volleyball games, going to spend time on the lake with your friends and family. It's very frustrating because whenever you have a small business, it's almost like you have another child. You have an idea, you start the business, and then you'll do everything in your power to make that business a success. And so, but then, you put all this time and effort and risk, but a lot of times small business owners, we don't have the money left over to pay him or herself regularly. We don't have profit for the business. And, and the other thing is, a lot of times when you start a business, you have a skill. You know how to be an interior designer, or you can do HVAC or whatnot. But being able to run a business, that is a different skill set. And so, it brings a lot, because it's different to run a business than what it is to fix something. And so do you really have what it takes to run a small business? Because it's very, very challenging to, the self-doubt, not knowing what to do next. That's a very real thing. And the reality is half of small businesses fail after 5 years. Generally, they will fail either because they have run out of money, because they have no profits, or they can't go to F&B Bank and get more funds to continue their business. And so the struggle is real. And it's truly one of those things where, you need to be able to run a business well. And so what is entrepreneuring? Entrepreneuring is a system for running your business to give you more profit, to be able to pay yourself on a regular basis, and to have more success in general. And the immediate goals of entrepreneuring is to be able to pay yourself, if you were to fire yourself and have to go hire a general manager to do exactly what you're doing today to help the business, you need to have that. You need to pay yourself general manager pay at a bare minimum. And so generally in this area, it's going to be roughly $60,000 plus per year to hire a good general manager to run a business. And then after that, you need to have at least 10% of your top line sales as profit. And then the last thing is, and people may say this is a pipe dream, whenever you can have the ability to take a vacation for 4 weeks at a time and have the business be as strong as whenever you left. And I'm partially there, and I was able to take a 2-week vacation last month with my wife. Phenomenal time, but I left, I came back, and both my businesses were running just like I had left, with more money in the bank whenever we left. It was great. And so the goal is to be able to have a transformation of the owner from an owner who is unsure of him or herself and not for sure what to do next into a savvy business owner who has more time, more profit, and can pay themselves. And so the goal is to be able to go out, do what you want to, and enjoy the successes enjoy the risk that you've put out onto the table. And so now I'd like to talk about market share for a little bit, actually getting into the heart of why we're here today. And so what we have here, this is a map of the spot we're standing right here at the Paducah Area Chamber of Commerce, and it's showing the population with a 5-mile radius, a 25-mile radius, and a 50-mile radius. And so you can see, it goes as far down as, does it work? Laser pointer doesn't work on that. So you get to the 100,000 people, 25-mile radius, most of Graves County, all of McCracken, some of Southern Illinois, and everything. And then if you start getting into the 50-mile radius, as the crow flies, all of Murray, all of West Kentucky, into Cape, a little bit of Princeton and whatnot. So there is a very, very large population within a very short drive of this area. And so I'd like to talk about next, so I've actually polled some successful small businesses to determine how many customers they have, the radius that they pull from to actually see what type of how much of the population do they actually have for their business. And so market share for this conversation is basically the number of customers you have divided by the population of the radius you pull from. So just very, very simple, pre-algebra stuff. And so this business has a 25-mile radius from the chamber. She had 750 customers in 2018. And does that sound like a lot of customers to you guys for 1 year? Just show of heads, yes, no. So, for most small businesses, 750 customers, that's a lot. And so this business has 0.75% of the market that she serves. Whenever I told her this, it truly looked like I had shot her dog. She's had this big unhappy face. What do you mean? I've got a successful small business. How can my market share be this low? But it is the truth of the situation, and this business is Katie Engler with Compass Counseling, a very successful, very profitable counseling firm here in the downtown area. So next, this is another small business. This actually pulls from a 50-mile radius here from the chamber, and this business actually had 8,000 customers in 2018. I've asked many, many people this question, and this is by far the largest amount of customers that I've had a small business owner share with me. And so 50-mile radius, 400,000 people. She is only 2% of the total market. And there's our very own Abby Shelton with Rose Garden Florists, who's here today. So Abby, thank you very much for sharing the info with me. I appreciate it. Again, profitable, successful business. Only 2% of the people use her. And so next, one more example. This business actually has a nationwide customer base. And this business had 900 domestic U.S. customers in 2018. And for comparison, the population of the U.S. is approximately 327 million in 2018. And so this business has 0.0003% of the population is this company's customer. And this company is very successful. This is a heavy equipment parts business that I own in North Graves County, so I have access to all the data on that, so it makes it a little easier on that. And so, but seriously, we only have 900 customers, but it's a very successful, very profitable business. And so hopefully, by looking at those examples, even, the Rose Garden Florist, where everybody can do business with the Rose Garden. I mean, truly, if if somebody dies, you can buy flowers from them. If you are a husband and do something dumb, you can get flowers for your wife to make up for something, wonderful gift baskets that they put together and such. And so hopefully, these examples show that not everyone is your customer. But now that we know that, what does that mean? So here's another visualization. The green is everyone else. The white or the yellow is your customer, and it just shows that the majority of the population does not matter for your business. It just doesn't. And, because honestly, when I started doing these calculations, I was surprised myself. But when you really start looking at the data, that's what it shows. So since we've shown that everyone does not need to be your customer, what do you do now? So the term is minimum viable audience is what you need to be looking at and considering. And so what minimum viable audience is, it is the smallest amount of customers for you to be a success. And so once you identify how many customers you need for this, you pick who you want to serve and delight. And then the nice thing after that is you then get to ignore everybody else. You need to be respectful about that, but it's like, hey, you're not my customer, and that's okay. And so the question is, how do you determine what your minimum viable audience is? So basically, you need to come up with like a monthly sales goal, what your average sale price is, what your lead closing percentage. So if 10 people call you looking for a quote on a service you provide, and then you close 5, and then 5 of those become customers, you have a 50% closing rate. And so that will help you determine how many leads you'll then need. And so here's just an example of a business. This is a business who wants to have $10,000 in monthly sales. Their average sale is $750. and they close roughly 50% of their leads. And so this business needs 13 leads per month. And so you only close, so this business closes only 50% of the leads. So then they need 27 leads per month, so approximately 6 leads per week. So that's all this particular business would need to be a success or to reach their goals. Another example, so let's say you want to open up a coffee shop. So generally coffee shops, so your average sale goes down tremendously. Still the same dollar amount from before. And so your average sale, throw out there $5, coffee, maybe a donut, something like that. And then, but most everybody that comes into the door, roughly 95% of those will actually buy what you're selling there. And so you do the math on that, then you wind up you need 2,000 jobs per month. So you need 486 leads per month. Yep, 2,000, so 486 leads per week, or roughly 70 leads per day. And actually I put together a handy dandy calculator, so you can go to my website, entrepreneuring.com, click on the online lessons, and then click on leads needed, and there's a calculator on there to help you to do that. It's not the absolute, you can't just plug it in and then all of a sudden your business will be a success. It just is a way of looking and evaluating to go forward. And one of the things I didn't announce this earlier, if you would like to have a copy of this presentation, everybody has my business card in front of them. Email me and I'll be more than happy to send you a PDF copy of this presentation without any hesitation. And so the beauty of a minimum viable audience is you determine the smallest amount of people that you need to be a success, and then you get to pick who you want to serve and delight by then specializing your business. And so what about, it's one thing to say, hey Chris, you need to specialize to do something. What about a real world example? And so this business, they started to specialize in 2011. And what they did is they eliminated their low profit and difficult business services. Because at the end of the day, we only have 24 hours each day with a limited amount of funds to do things. And so they optimized anything that was low profit. They're doing the work, but it doesn't make any sense to do it. And then from that, you then have the availability of time and resources to try new things, and they took this available resources of time to develop and launch a new product line. And so this is a graph actually showing, let me get over here so you can see a little bit better. Laser pointer doesn't work on the screen. So in 2011, that's whenever the business started to specialize. So you can kind of see from 2009, the starting point, even from 2009 to 2011, business was up 150%. But in 2011, actually, they started the new product line, but didn't have the time and effort to put into marketing it. But then you can kind of see the resources started coming up, and then they realized that whenever, this business has grown tremendously over the years, and so whenever the business was growing a lot, it's whenever they were trying new things and seeing what works and what doesn't. So when you make a change, don't bet the entire farm on it. Try a small test, see if it works, and if it does work, scale it to the best of your ability at that point. And then you can see in 2013 and 2014, so from 2011, when they started to specialize, until 2014, the business went up doubled in 2 years, because they had the time and the ability to specialize doing what they're doing to go forward. And so the specialization stuff, it works. And so this is, again, my business, IHM Used Parts. Okay, so when you want to specialize your business, so the beauty of this is you are 100% in charge. You can determine whether, what you want to do to specialize it. So you get to pick and choose who you want to serve and delight. Because the goal is to pick those ideal people, serve and delight them to the best of your ability. They have a phenomenal experience. They tell others about it, and then your business will grow. Because one of the best ways of growing your business is word of mouth, recommendation, peer to peer. And with the advent of social media, you get online, you give a positive referral or a positive review to somebody, the rest of the world sees it, and your business will grow. And so whenever you're specializing in your business, it needs to be something, the thing you want to truly concentrate on, it's something that you like to do, you're naturally good at it, there's demand for it, and somebody's willing to pay you for it. That's the key. It's one thing, like I would have loved to play college soccer. I was good at it, but I just didn't quite have the natural athletic ability to play at the next level. To those guys, they're freaks of nature. They're that good. They can do that and such. But just it needs to be something that fits those 4 criteria to be worth your time to do it. And be authentic. Don't just be looking for market share. Like for me, it would be very unwise for me to go through market to married people in Paducah that are UK basketball fans. I'm a University of Tennessee grad. I'm not a UK fan. It's fine. I cheer for them, but you can live in the state of Kentucky and not cheer for the University of Kentucky. I'm sorry, it's possible. And lost the audience there. Crap. Okay. But no, it's just one of those things where you need to be authentic in what you're doing. And so be authentic. So one of the best ways you can do to figure out who you want to specialize in, if you've been in business for a while, review your existing customer base and who are your favorites. If you like doing business with them, you're naturally going to be serving them better moving forward, and just that's one of the possibilities of who you want to be your ideal customer at that point. And then obviously look at profit, because if you're doing something you're not making any profit on, you don't need to do it, period. Because the goal of your business, and one of the things you can ask yourself, are we being successful, is if you stopped what you're doing, would your customers be disappointed? I mean, great. Okay, who is disappointed that Chick-fil-A is closed on Sunday? Because I'm just not over in that area all the time. Would you be disappointed if Chick-fil-A closed down in Paducah and went away? Yes. Because they delight and please their customers all the time. So it's the same thing for your business, because if you went out of business and you weren't doing what you're doing, if your customers would not be disappointed and devastated, that's a thing, that's a hint you need to be trying to do business better for your customers. And so specializing your business can be very tricky. Coming to a 1-hour seminar is not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to go home and I'm going to start specializing, I'm going to do this, that tomorrow. It takes a long process. I mean, truly in my business, I'm still trying to figure out how I want to truly specialize to serve my customers better. And so this is just basically the basic way of doing it to start with. First thing is to optimize the products and the service offerings that you have. And only keep your low risk, high profit items. Because once you have more bandwidth available to spend on your high profit items, then you can get more of those ideal customers and be more successful. Another thing is to optimize the type of customers that you want. A lot of times, if you're selling a product, do you sell wholesale or do you sell retail? Because if you do both, you're going to make both of your customer bases mad at that point. And so pick one and go with it. Very simple way you can do this. And one thing, trying to specialize your business, once you've been in business for a while, it is not a simple thing. It's truly going to take prayer and time to determine what you need to do to help your business long term. And so once you get past the basic simple specialization, what can you do after that? So you really need to be going through and looking at your customers and their psychographics and demographics. So by psychographics, and literally this is directly from the Facebook custom audience pages, you have what entertainment they like, family status, what food and drink do they like, hobbies and activities, sports and outdoors, technology, and even life events. I mean, it is so creepy how granular you can advertise on some of the social media outlets. You can actually, Facebook knows if you're away from your home and they'll advertise to you then. It's creepy, but it's a great for a small business owner because a lot of times, if you're trying to, one of the best times to try to get a new customer is whenever they have a natural disruption in their life. So let's say somebody, we moved from North Carolina to Kentucky 12 years ago. We moved to the greater Lonoke area. So then, you're trying to find your new normal. Where do you shop for groceries? Where do you go buy your stuff to go shopping and whatnot? And so whenever somebody has a natural change in what they're doing, that's a great opportunity for you to gain a new customer then. And then also you can look at the basic demographics such as age, gender, education level, and even job title. And so on specializing your business, you need to be able to help your customers to tell the story that they're then going to tell their friends and their peers. And that's part of the stagecraft of marketing, is to have the story to go through and tell their friends. For me with Entrepreneuring, it's all about small business owners paying themselves, having more profit and more success. That's the quick little 10-second elevator pitch for Entrepreneuring. And so for your business, you need to be able to tell your customers how they can tell their friends and family how you can help them. And then the other thing is, once you decide who you want to have for your ideal customer, is this ideal market large enough to meet your sales goals? And so you can use the Facebook custom audiences to estimate this. So go through and figure out, okay, let's say I want to advertise to UK fans who are married with a college degree or higher. There's like 2,000 people that here in just the Paducah area. And so that is something you can do like that. And so you will be too much for some people, but those are not your people. It's one of those things where, you're not trying to please everybody. You're just trying to please a very, very small subset of the population to delight them beyond their wildest dreams. So pricing. This is the one I was kind of alluding to earlier in the presentation, that this next couple of slides could truly help your business tremendously. And so pricing. Pricing is based upon the value you provide, not what it costs you to promote it, or not your cost to provide it. Because it's all about how you're helping somebody. And a great example is like if you have a product, sometimes I'll quote something, say I'm gonna buy it for one of my suppliers. I can buy it for $3,000. I'm gonna sell it for $4,000. Have pretty good margin on that. And then another high quality, so I have the thing sold, and then other people will quote me later on, hey, I can sell this to you for $1,500. Oh wow! So then. But it's the same product, so it doesn't matter if I'm buying for $1,500 or for $3,000, it's still worth $4,000 to that customer. And so you have to base what your pricing has to be based upon the value you provide, not what your cost is. And then do not be the lowest price. I cannot stress that the most. Because if you're trying to just base everything, hey, I'm the lowest price. Who in here has heard of Amazon? So Amazon is the 800-pound gorilla in the room, in that if it's something you can buy on Amazon, Amazon is playing the long-term game. And if Jeff Bezos said very famously a few years ago, your margin is my opportunity. Jeff Bezos is the CEO and owner of Amazon. And so if you can go and, so if you can actually go and buy something, if you're competing head-to-head with Amazon, with an online entity, you have to give your customers a reason to come to you. And just do not base your entire business on being the lowest price in the market, because it's a great way to stress yourself out and not be very successful and potentially go out of business. And then profit is not a four-letter word. There's lots of other four-letter words we're not supposed to be talking about up here, but profit is not a four-letter word. It is okay to have profit. That doesn't mean don't price gouge your customers, because that's bad. There's a certain family establishment that they have a monopoly on food and water and drinks when you get in there. They charged me and my family $20 for a bad pizza. I have no problem paying good money for food, but if you're going to basically gouge me because you're the only option, and I haven't been back to the establishment since then. We had I think my daughter's 9th birthday party there, and we haven't been there in 3 years now. So, and then price sensitivity. This is the one thing that the price sensitivity to your profit is extremely, extremely sensitive. And so I'm going to show an example here. So this business, it's a hypothetical service business, and they're currently billing at $75 an hour. But out of that $75 an hour, they have roughly 5% margin. So basically, for every hour they bill, they have $3 worth of profit. And so this is the graph. And so if you change your price from $75 to $80, your profit goes up 57%. That is a huge, huge opportunity to have more profit just by moving your pricing $5. And from additional $5 of something that originally cost $75, that is a very, very small percentage. But the return on that is exceptional. But then if you were to drop it down from 75 to 70, you're then losing money. And so if you're a small business and you're successful, you are busy, you're having to turn away work, you seriously need to consider increasing your pricing, 100%, because you're doing a good job, you're serving people, and just pop it up and see what happens. $5, you should be able to articulate why you're $5 better per hour than the next guy. So some other general guidelines for pricing. If everyone says an immediate yes to the quote you give, your prices are too low, period. That or you're an absolutely wonderful salesperson, but still bumping prices then. A general rule of thumb is you want to have people say yes to about 50% of your quotes. Because if you're too low, okay, maybe you're not providing enough value for the price, but if everybody's saying yes, 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 the prices are too cheap. Bump it up, have more profit. And then again, want to reiterate, do not be the lowest price out there. It's just a way to drive yourself out of business long term. But you have to be able to articulate why you bring value to your customer. Oh, oops. Double hit there. Fat finger. Okay, so I want to talk about some of the positive consequences of specializing your business. Because it's one thing to say, hey, you need to do this, this, and this, but there are some very real consequences of doing this on both the positive and the negative side of specializing your business. And so whenever you have positive consequences, you are now an expert in your field and you can demand a premium price. One of my good friends, he was a lawyer, was doing law for a while, did basically anything that came up. He decided to specialize his business into family law and divorce, and he's been very successful since then. So now he's the resident expert in the area. He can demand a premium price, more success. Positive consequences, you can say no to potential leads. Now, that is going to be whenever you do that, you don't need to be rude, don't need to be arrogant about it. Just politely say, no, I don't do that service anymore, or at that price that we were doing previously. That's a fine line you're going to have to walk once you start to specialize, but it is definitely worth it whenever you do so. And, because business owners, we are hardwired, especially when we first start out, you want to take any business that will put food on the table for you and your family. Because the first few years are difficult, flat out. There's no sugarcoating it at all. It's difficult first starting out. And it's like, hey, can you do this? The answer is yes. Even if it's something you don't want to do, you're an entrepreneur, you're driving hard, you want to be a success, and you got a family, you got to feed them. But the long-term approach is, you're better to wait for better to wait for a good customer rather than take a bad customer because you happen to have availability to take that customer at that moment in time. And then the other positive consequence is you need to have a referral source to send the leads that come in that you now don't service anymore. So you need to have a great network with others in a similar field. Because truthfully, beforehand, whenever you're still more of a generalist in what you're doing, they were probably your competition, truthfully. But some of my fellow business owners, they have a flooring business and they have a hardwood refinishing business. They send referrals to each other all the time, and it is great for everybody in that business, because they have their niche, they stay in that. If they get more leads that are similar, but yeah, it's a floor is a floor to some end users, but then you can send that to somebody else. And then the other positive thing is of specializing, remember, 99% of the population does not matter, so you get to ignore the haters. Because somewhere right now, somebody is looking at your post you made for your business yesterday and just turning up their nose, getting all snooty and whatnot, getting all up in your business. And it's just, they don't matter. They truly don't. And it's very, very liberating when you realize, okay, no, you're a bad customer. I'm sorry. I'm not available today to meet with you. So the unintended consequences of specializing your business. Big one is fear. It is extremely frightening to stating to the world who you are, what you do, and who you want to serve. I struggle with that. I've been doing I grew up in a small business. I've been in small business environment for over 12 years, and I've been running a small business for the past 8. And to stand up and say, hey, this is what I stand for. Now please come and do business with me. That's scary as hell because, I'm still respectful to the people I've been doing business for before, but, it's like, hey, I'm sorry. Saying to somebody, we're not for you, is very difficult. Some of your existing customers will disappear, but that's okay because they're not your ideal customer. And saying no, for me, I am, some people are more people pleasers in their personality. I'm not. I have no problem saying no to people, but saying no to people, that you've been doing business with for a while, that's going to be challenging for folks. But the fear thing, it's real. But all of us, we just have to learn how to dance with it and to move forward and to help out your business. Sorry, I forgot to take out a slide last night. It was late. Needed more of that Red Bull and coffee. So now we've identified how many people we need for our business. We have identified who our target market is at this point, and now we need to be able to find our ideal customer. This is actually the easiest part, truthfully. So basically, the first thing is to market to your existing customers first. It's one of those things, if you sold to them before, that's going to be an easier sell the next time. You already have all the contact information. It's not as exciting, as sexy as getting new customers coming in, but have the same customer coming in month after month after month because you're doing a great job for them. All it takes a lot of times just remind you that they're there. To remind them that you're there. One of the easiest ways of doing this is you can actually create a custom audience in Facebook and market directly to them. So it's as simple as exporting an email list to Facebook, uploading it, and then you can market directly to that email list. It's really scary what you can do with that stuff. And then once you do that, okay, so then let's say you pick a demographic from earlier that you want to market to. And so last night I was playing around on Facebook. So, okay, let's say I want to market to UK men's basketball fans with a college education or higher and married. And just in the Paducah, Kentucky area, there are 2,000 people who fit this criteria. And so you kind of go back and think about, all right, Most businesses, if you have 1,000 customers, you can be extremely successful. And so there's 2,000 people. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get all 2,000 of those people, but it's a very good start of where to go forward. And so I want to talk about local business for a second. And so if you have a product or service that can be bought from a big box store or Amazon or an online retailer, you've got to give us a reason for coming in and doing business with you. I think one of the best examples of this is Andy Carlos in Midtown Market. You know, he opened a grocery store, was it 7-8 years ago? I mean, a grocery store, that's one of the most competitive industries in the country because everybody needs food. It's a ginormous market. But he has come in, and the products you get there, the quality is outstanding. It's not the cheapest place, but that's fine. He's made his line in the sand. This is what I stand for, and it is a successful, thriving business because what you can get in his store, a lot of times you can't get anywhere else, and it's very high quality, and it just works. And so, because your goal of after you specialize, you want to be the number one option for your ideal group going forward. And so, just some additional general recommendations as we're wrapping things up. And so, the big thing is just start and do something. You know, it needs to be good enough is okay. It does not need to be perfect. Because if you're shipping your product and service, you're interacting with your market, with your customers, and you can make things better from there. Because, now this, just start. It doesn't give an excuse for shipping inferior product. If you're going to ship crap, it's not worth doing it. But, you need to be able to delight all your customers and everything. And then another kind of side note, products scale much better than a service because if you have a product, you have the risk of buying the inventory up front or the manufacturing cost up front, but if you're shipping it out or they come in off the street, buy it, and they walk out, that can scale much, much quicker than a service where literally, the only way for you to scale is either you need to work more hours in the day or to hire more people to help you out. So I really want to invite you guys to come out. There are 2 additional small business seminars coming up this month. Next week is going to be the City of Paducah and their New Day initiative. All the events are going to be here in this building from 8 to 9, just like this, next week and the following week. And then 2 weeks from now will be Chris Woolridge and the small business support through the Murray State. That's changing up a little bit, and they'll be here. Chris will be here talking to you about that. I definitely plan on being the one next week, but I'm out of town on a business trip in 2 weeks. So I will not be here for Chris's presentation. And then if you're wanting to join the chamber, I've been the chamber member for a few years now. Talk to either Kelly or myself, Kelly at the back or myself, and we can help you to join the chamber here going forward. Yes, I am on the membership drive this time. Hey, I got the mic. I can do it. And so, in summary, we want you to, go through. Everyone is not your customer. So then, who is your customer? So go through, determine who your minimum viable audience is. Specialize your business for your ideal customer. Make this ideal customer extremely happy. The ideal customer will then tell the others, like, hey, go see him for this. Advertise to find more of your ideal customers, and then have more profit and success. And hi, my name is Chris with Entrepreneuring, your guide for small business success. Thank you very much, guys. Does anybody have any questions? If you don't want to talk in front of everybody, I'll be up here afterwards for a while and